Welcome to the Law Firm Marketing Minute, your source of internet marketing inspiration.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Thursday edition of the Law Firm Marketing Minute. We're live streaming here on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. Admittedly, I am about 15 minutes late from when I'm normally doing this, but had a little something that I was working on and took a little bit longer than I expected, but that's okay. We're here now. And this week we are talking about evergreen content. We throw that term out a lot. And I think a lot of people understand what content is. They understand, okay, content's my blogs, my videos, podcasts, social media stuff, whatever the case is. But there's different kinds of content in terms of its use and its usefulness. And evergreen content is what we believe is going to give you the most value, both short and long term. And so kind of what I mean by that, a lot of marketing companies out there, their definition of content is like, okay, yeah, we have a blog writing service. Yeah, we'll give you 20 blogs a week. And you might think, wow, that's awesome. That's a ton of content. I'm going to be super cool and awesome. And the unfortunate part of that is that it is essentially just this never-ending barrage of short, like 3-paragraph long articles on a current event, related to your field. And it's generally like stuffed with keywords, and all it's designed to do is drive search engine rankings. And if you're playing this SEO game, fine, and it's working for you totally. But understand that those blogs provide zero value to the actual human beings who are going to hire you. So if they come to your website, and here's the thing, like even if they come to your website, one of those blog articles shows up on a search result, they're going to show up, they're going to see this article. They're not going to really be sure of the actual purpose of the article, because they might be, they're coming to that article looking for an update on whatever issue that the article is covering, so maybe like a new law got updated, or, there's going to be some sort of big court hearing on a certain, issue or whatever. Like it's real basic stuff like that's being covered. And so people are coming to get updates on the story. They're not coming to your website for legal advice. And I've seen some instances where some of these big blog farms will try to have articles and topics around subjects where people would be searching for legal advice. But even then, the articles don't have any substance. There's no actual information in there. It's all just, for example, it's like what to do after a car accident in Dayton, Ohio. And then the article will be like, if you have been in a car accident in Dayton, Ohio, you need to call the car accident attorneys at Smith & Smith Law Firm. Our car accident attorneys at Smith & Smith Law Firm will help you figure out what to do after a car accident in Dayton, Ohio. You see how it just sounds terrible? And you see how I haven't told you anything. And there's a paragraph right there already. So that's why those blogs are pretty worthless, unless you're playing the search engine game. And even then, they're not bringing in the most qualified traffic to your website. So that's why we talk about evergreen content. It's exactly what it sounds like. So, you have different kinds of trees. You have your deciduous trees. Yeah, I'm reaching back into my biology knowledge. Yeah, I think the deciduous trees are the ones that have the leaves change. I don't know. This isn't a science show, you guys. But you have also evergreen trees, like your firs. I know fir trees are evergreen because they're Christmas trees. And when everything is dead in the winter, those are still green. But you have evergreen trees because they are always green. They're always seemingly in bloom or whatever. And evergreen content is the same way. Evergreen content remains relevant for months and years after you publish it because the subject matter does not change. Now, I know what you're thinking. Laws change all the time, what happens in my field is not what happened 5 years ago. So how does that even work? And it's because you're not diving directly into exact statutes and codes and all of that in your content. You're keeping it very surface level. It's how is property divided in a divorce? It's not here are the exact processes that go into it, but it's just, hey, here's what the courts decide. It's typically done by, it's divided up typically by income, or typically divided up by this or that or whatever, and so you don't have to get super deep into the weeds on it, even though I know you want to, but your audience doesn't care. They just want to know the overall process. They need to know what to expect. And in doing so, they get the sense and they build the trust with you that you're the person that they should work with when the time comes to handle that issue. Other ones, basic accounting tips. If you're a finance, if you're a CPA, just basic accounting tips for business owners. 5 steps to preserve an injury claim after a car accident. How to create an expense report, how to build a budget, what documents you need, what legal documents you need in order to properly start a business, all that kind of stuff. And that's it doesn't have to be a 10,000 word essay. It doesn't have to be a giant legal brief. It can be 400 to 600 words, surface level, but it's telling people what they can expect, and it's setting you up to be the expert that they need to work with. So you have blogs, you write blogs like that. So let's say for example, you're an estate planning attorney and you write a blog, or someone comes into your office and they're like, hey, I want a trust. I need to add some trusts to my estate plan. And you're like, great. I have this blog article I wrote and it outlines several different trusts, what they can do for you. Here it is. Check it out. Let me know what you think. And you may have written that blog 2 or 3 years ago. But guess what? I mean, the overall nature and purpose of revocable, irrevocable, charitable remainder, Miller trusts, all that kind of stuff, those don't change. At least to my knowledge, a revocable trust, all of a sudden won't just include everything it has included since the beginning of its existence and swap it out for a completely new set of characteristics or whatever. Like if that's going to happen, it's going to be super, super rare. So that's why these blogs, maintain their value, and this content maintains its value over a long period of time, because you can write it and 2, 3, 4 years down the road, you can pull it back out and it's still just as relevant. And you can maybe make minor edits if you need to, but you can pull blogs out, just, change the date, change the publication date. So it's just right back up at the top of your list. And it's that simple. The other side of that, and what makes evergreen content so great, is that you can recycle and repurpose it. And I know, on the surface that might seem lazy, and I can, because it's like, well, I don't need to create something new. I've got all this stuff. I'll just keep sending out. And that's fine. It's, and honestly, it's what you should be doing, because on one hand, because of the huge amount of content that everyone is consuming right now, based on how algorithms work and based on how attention spans work, there's no possible way that everyone in your audience is going to see your content the first time it comes through. It's just not going to happen. Not everyone may see it the second or third time it comes through. So you have to publish it and post it and promote it multiple times over the course of 2, 3, 4 weeks. And that's okay, because then that helps you build out a theme. If you like themes and doing that, and you can have a theme every week, every 2 weeks, every month, whatever the case is. And you keep repeating that message, because that's what's also going to drive home the fact that you're the expert in your practice area. There's a quote from, I don't think anyone was actually attributed to the quote, but it's just been around forever. It's of this newspaper editor. And basically, I'm paraphrasing, but basically he said, it's only until we get sick of writing about the same story that people will actually start to listen. And God, that can be so applicable to so many things right now. But if your thing is helping people start businesses, that's what you write about. And that's what your topics are. That's what your content is all about. And you might be so sick of writing about the same things and saying the same things over and over and over again, but that's what it takes for it to stick. People aren't going to just inherently believe you the first time you say it. You have to say it over and over and over again to keep people, to understand that, yes, you are in fact the expert on that. And there are a ton of benefits to it too. I mean, it helps you reach new audiences. Obviously, like I said, it cements your authority. It keeps spreading your message. You have to do it more than once. You have to, post about your latest blog article more than once. Like for us, for example, just our own internal social media strategy, when we post a new article, we post about it that day. We post about it over the weekend. It gets included in our weekly email newsletter that goes out. And then over the coming months, it gets pulled in and repurposed a couple more times over the next few weeks. And so it's, each article is going to get a ton of exposure, but people, especially as big as our audience is, there's still a decent chance that not everyone is going to see it. At the same time, you can repurpose kind of the medium and the subject matter. So you can take a blog post and you can turn it into a podcast, or you can make a video version of that blog. You can expand on it, publish a bigger ebook. Can maybe even turn it into a course or a series or whatever the case is. So there's a ton of potential there with your blogs. You don't have to rewrite it. You can just repurpose it and create other things out of the same topics. Even if you think your niche is pretty limited, there is a never ending way to present things that deal with your expertise. So that's going to do it for us this week. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got a good understanding of Evergreen content and what all that entails. And we'll see you on Monday for the regular show. Bye.
Thanks for joining us. Please visit lawfirmmarketingminute.com for more information. We'll see you next time.